Coming up this week off screen, Robert Sheehan is The Messenger. We go up to space with Infini. Jack Black and James Marsden hop aboard the D-Train. The Horrible Histories gang introduces to Bill. Bradley Cooper says Aloha. Jason Clarke attempts to scale Everest. And Robert Redford goes on a walk in the woods. All that and much more off screen.
This is OffScreen. OffScreen. With the latest film news and reviews, this is OffScreen, the on-screen radio show.
Welcome to OffScreen. I'm Van Connor.
My name is Kase Allen.
So where should we start this week then, Kase? Should we start with Bill?
Let's start with Bill. Yeah.
Okay, so Bill, which is from the Horrible Histories gang. Do you know the Horrible Histories?
I do know that show. I know the books.
I'm not terribly familiar with them, I must admit.
Okay.
I know the books. I've seen them in Costco. You know that's...
Yeah, you get them for like £2 or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I've seen the box sets of 26 books in Costco.
Yeah.
That's the extent of my knowledge of Horrible Histories. Bill, it seems, is this Blackadder-like, Monty Python-esque, Mel Brooksian take on the lost years, not the life, but the lost years of Bill Shakespeare. Sorry, William Shakespeare, who for the purpose of this film is called Bill.
Bill to his friends.
Bill. And he's about 30 years old. He is kicked out of his band, The Mortal Coil.
Oh, brilliant.
And do you know how they kick him out?
How?
They tell him they are shuffling him off from Mortal Coil.
That's genius.
And this is the film. He's filled with that kind of humour.
Oh, great.
And he decides to pursue his other dream of becoming a famous playwright and moving to that London. Literally the words, that London, to make his name on the stage. Here's a clip.
Saying things in a short, snappy way instead of a long, drawn-out way is the soul of wit.
Oh, someone's been in the wars.
Yes, What are you doing in a pie?
It's a disguise. Or one might say, a despise. Now that works in three ways. 1, it's a disguise. 2, the disguise is pies. And 3, it's got the word spies in it, so...
It's very clever.
The thing with it, obviously, is that he doesn't just... It's not all about just Shakespeare, because he obviously gets involved in the sort of espionage plot. A plot by King Philip II of Spain to assassinate Queen Elizabeth. And he meets Philip Marlowe as a character in it, for instance. And the thing... I walked into this one, and I think I was talking to a bunch of guys on the way in, and one of the things I said was, at least we know it couldn't possibly be as bad as Anonymous.
That was awful.
Do you remember Anonymous?
Yeah.
Do you remember? Okay. John sitting silence. He remembers Anonymous. I think he saw it with me as well. So it's not as bad as Anonymous. In fact, it's actually a lot of fun. It's it aimed very much at a family audience, and as I imagine Horrible Histories is. I mean, Horrible Histories is aimed at young children, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's part of like this CBB thing for a while.
Is it actually a CBBS thing?
But it does talk to adults as well, and there's bits for everyone. Really.
Okay, well, having seen this now, I can wholeheartedly believe that. And I say, there are elements of Blackadder in there, and Monty Python, and even Carry On movies as well. And I thought it particularly owed a debt to Robin Hood Men in Tights.
I love that film.
Which I'm a very big fan of Men in Tights. And so you've got Matthew Bainton, who plays Bill in this as Shakespeare, and he's a lot of fun. He's got that. He does the sort of feckless, sort of drifting slacker type. You know, the directionless 20-something pushing 30 doesn't quite know what to do with himself.
I feel like you're just describing my life a little bit.
Mine too.
You're talking about me.
But and he's very enjoyable. I did like the character of Philip Marlowe. I forget the name of the actor who plays him. The thing is, there are about 4 cast members who play multiple roles within the film. So Matthew Bainton turns up in 4 or 5 different roles.
It's a very kind of Monty Python.
It is very much
like you
so.
Said.
So you've got Bainton, who's very central to the cast. I did quite like Ben Wilbon's King Philip II as a literally moustache twirling villain. Literally moustache twirling. As in, he has a goatee, but he still wears a ridiculous fake moustache to conceal his identity. And then you've got Helen McCrory turns up as Queen Elizabeth.
Oh, I can see that.
And
Yeah,
she's
definitely.
really game for it. Really, she's up for a laugh, and in that proper fun bonkers way that Helen McCrory does in usually quite a scary way.
Yeah.
She's now applied it to a comedic sense, but it works really, really well.
There's a cameo that you were talking about earlier that I had no idea was even a part of it.
I think it is in the trailer, so we can talk about it.
Okay.
There's a cameo by. I mean, it is central to the plot. This cameo by Damian Lewis. And it's very, very funny. He provides the film's opening, and it's hilarious. And it's the most abusive use of the name Phil you've ever heard in your life. It's chock full of gags. Literally, you can laugh once a minute at this. I mean, I sat with some very respected critics who laughed like gibbons.
Are gibbons known to laugh a lot?
I'm just going to assume that's where the phrase comes from. Laugh like gibbons. So there's some great gags that are in your face. There's some snuck in the background. There's one in this picture here, Case, I've got here, which if you can see the vegetable slogan in the background, are you getting your 2 a week?
Oh, brilliant.
Which I think is fantastic. That's Elizabethan London for you.
Is that up on the website?
That is up on the site. If you check the review, the great background gag in that one. It's not as eternally quotable as, for instance, any Monty Python film or Men in Tights or something like that. But it's a very surprising, very impressive sort of adventurous comedy romp from the Horrible Histories team, no less. And it's one I do hope they follow up. I hope they do more like it. Should we do some film news then, Case?
Let's do some film news, man.
This is my favourite one. Have you heard about Humbug?
Oh,
This
yes.
is amazing. Humbug, so
man.
this is going to be an updated contemporary retelling of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, starring Ice Cube.
Take my money.
Just have my money, have it all. I don't care that Tim Story's directing, because this is going to, reunite the pair who haven't been together since Barbershop.
So it's going to be Barbershop and Scrooged combined.
Yeah, what could go wrong with that?
Yeah, but Barbershop 3 is in production right
It
now.
is, yeah,
I did
without
not know
Tim
that.
Story, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Tim Story's not involved in it, strangely. But. Okay, my favourite one as well, because this ties into an actor we talk about a lot. Adam Brody has joined the cast of Chips, which is obviously
cool.
big screen adaptation
Dak
of
Shepard.
Dak Shepard is directing it, writing it, and starring in it.
I'm doing the theme tune, editing it, doing it all.
Write the theme tune, sing the theme tune.
Yeah.
Michael Pena is going to be Ponch. So
Great.
Michael Pena is the new Eric Estrada. But here's the part that nobody seems to have picked up on. Aside from the fact that Rosa Salazar from Maze Runner Scorched Trials and Insurgent Divergent, which is why we get those two confused.
Insurgent, Divergent, Allegiant.
Yeah, the most important part of all of this is that the villain will be played by none other than the king of militarising dinosaurs, Mr. Vincent D'Onofrio. Yes.
Oh, man.
Vinny D'Onofrio is going to be militarising
V-Don.
Chips.
Oh, brilliant. Militarising Chips.
Militarising Chips.
He's moving on from dinosaurs, moving on to food and police.
Exactly. I've militarised raptors. Let's militarise the California Highway Patrol.
Yeah.
Good old Vinny D'Onofrio. So, what should we look at now? Should we say aloha?
Let's say hello.
In which way shall we say aloha? Because it means hello and goodbye.
I would like to say the latter, but let's
too-
just set it up for people.
Should we say the former then the latter? Okay, so this
do
is
it.
the latest from Cameron Crowe, American cinema icon.
The guy,
Cameron Crowe.
Say Anything, singles, Almost Famous, all these amazing projects.
I think Almost Famous is his kind of that's his big thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And of course Vanilla Sky, which I'm quite a fan of. He did the
Of
remake.
course, Jerry Maguire.
Yeah, Jeremy. Oh, how did I forget Jerry Maguire?
God, yeah.
So, of course, you'd expect really great things from another film by
You
Cameron
would,
Crowe.
yeah.
Particularly one, he's assembled Bradley Cooper, Emma Stone, Rachel McAdams, Alec
cast.
Baldwin, Danny McBride,
Bill
John
Murray.
Krasinski, Bill Murray. Oh, wow, who isn't in this film? Anthony Michael Hall, before you say anything, because you have this thing, Anthony Michael Hall's in every film. So,
I like him, he's just in a lot of films.
what is the plot of Aloha? Well, what isn't the plot of Aloha? This is the story of Brian Gilchrist, played by Bradley Cooper, who returns to Hawaii after a prolonged absence in his career as a military contractor, and he returns to the island to, it's a gateway blessing, but he's also doing a land negotiation so that they can build a space command, and at the same time, he's part of a satellite launch for Bill Murray, who is an eccentric billionaire who also, for some reason, wants to put missiles in space.
Just wants to have missiles just floating.
Just wants to have missiles. And then there's Emma Stone, who's a local girl who is a bit cartoony and a bit by the book, who has issues with his Bradley Cooper's nascent, rather standoffish personality. And then there's his ex-girlfriend, played by Rachel McAdams, who's had kids with his old friend, who's played by John Krasinski, who's got his own problem in that he doesn't communicate enough and he conveys messages through short stares. Here's a clip.
You never had a partner. I mean, I know that your ex-wife gave you the heave a year ago.
That would be off-limits repartee for us, Captain. I lone wolfed it all the way. That's who I am. End of speech.
Understood.
By the way, my ex-spouse did not give me the heave. She met some rich guy who made his fortune selling comic books, and in this economy, that's enough to vaporize a marriage. Suddenly get replaced by a comic book version of yourself. Nobody wants to live where they are. They all want to be in a fantasy, Ing. All right? She gave me the heave.
Boy, did she blow it.
No, I got nothing.
No, not a thing.
I got nothing. Case, I mean, is there anything you can say on this one? Because
well, Alec Baldwin was doing his best impression of Alec Baldwin. That was good.
I've taken to referring to it as Alec Baldwining.
Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin shows up to do some Alec Baldwin.
It's like...
It is like
it's
Reagan.
Reagan,
Alec Baldwin shows up to do some Alec Baldwining.
Okay, so there's like two bits that I did enjoy, two like fleeting passing gags. There's Baldwin doing the Baldwin voice, and then there's a running John Krasinski gag.
Communicating through stairs.
Yeah, and that was actually quite fun towards the end, and yeah.
This is the problem, because the film opened 4 months ago in the US, and very, very quickly its title became like a pop culture shorthand for bad. And even to the likes of John Oliver and things like that, they were making gags about it.
Yeah.
And it was the talk show monologue gag of the week. How bad is... And that was it. Nobody thought this was going to be any good. So you go in and you think, well, it couldn't possibly be that bad. It is. It really is. It's not only bad, it's boring. That's
so boring.
It really is. It's just some stuff happening. And... Right... I've always had this thing about Bradley Cooper where I think he's a TV actor. I knew him as a TV actor before he was in The Hangover. I knew him as a TV actor, and he was fine he was a slightly higher echelon TV actor. Fair enough. You know, like, I loved him in Alias, that was great. Kitchen Confidential, same thing. But I never really quite saw his appeal as a movie star. I don't think he's a movie star, and this does not sway my opinion one bit. This kind of confirms to me Bradley Cooper is not a movie star. Cameron Crowe, it seems, has lost any semblance of directing movies anymore. He just wants to do a play and doesn't care if anyone shows up to see it. Tonally, it is all over the place. What kind of film is it? Is it a comedy? Is it a dramedy? Is it...
It was billed as being a rom-com cum dramedy, I guess. But
does it succeed on any level?
Bill Murray is like a Bond villain.
Kind of is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well...
Not even like a funny one. And
no. I mean, it's dull, it's plodding, it has all the narrative engagement of shopping for coat hangers, which I believe is what I actually texted you afterwards.
Yeah, you did.
If it were a person...
I think whilst you were watching it, you texted me, which just shows how bad it and unengaging it is.
Beauty of US Blu-ray. If this were a person, you'd kick it to death through sheer frustration. If it were a houseplant, you'd knock it over and leave it to die. If it were a car, you would send it careening over a cliff with a smile on your face. It is just bad. Nothing about it is good. He can't even highlight the Hawaiian scenery right. And this is Cameron Crowe. No. Avoid this. Just avoid it.
I think one of the few things that will be kind of good about it, Cameron Crowe will hopefully learn from this. He's got a couple of good sounding projects on paper coming up, so maybe he'll concentrate. He's got a TV show called Roadies. That sounds really good. So, fingers crossed.
It's one of those things. I think because the word aloha means both hello and goodbye, I think it's really, really convenient because it allows you to not have to learn a second term. So you start the film, like, aloha film, and then like 5 minutes in, you're like, I want to say aloha again because this sucks. I don't know about you, but I could do cheering up with some film news bits, I think.
And we've got loads of film news bits.
We've got loads. Oh, I'll tell you what, let's keep the mood a bit somber and announce that Pacific Rim 2 has been postponed indefinitely because... As if seeing Aloha this week wasn't bad enough. you then get a second
Hollywood.
kick to the nuts when they say, there's not going to be a Pacific Rim 2 for a bit longer now. You're like, why?
Yeah, Aloha gets made, but Pacific Rim 2 doesn't. I think it's probably because of all the monster ruminings that's now happening, so Godzilla and King Kong, and that's probably pushed that back.
Well, that's the thing, because we've got a new Godzilla movie coming now as well.
Yeah.
Not a Universal one to go with Gareth Edwards' one from last year. Godzilla 2016, made by Toho in Japan, the original company. They are filming that now. They've started filming Godzilla 2016 as of yesterday, I believe.
Is that what the title's going to be?
It's Godzilla 2016. Yeah, there is a poster for it. It literally says Godzilla 2016.
I hope it gets pushed back to
I hope it does.
They'll be so annoyed.
There's the other one. Rupert Wyatt has quit as director of Gambit.
Yeah, you see, I predicted this.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
I don't think it's on the show, because I don't remember this.
I don't think I said it on the show, but I probably just said it to myself when it got announced, because
he'll quit.
He's a really good director. I just feel like he's quite a flaky director. Or he'll go from doing like quite a big studio project and then do something quite small and personal.
He did spend a lot of time on Hollyoaks. That's just to let that one sum it up for you.
See, I didn't know that.
No, he comes from Hollyoaks. Rupert Wyatt cut his teeth directing episodes of Hollyoaks. Seriously, that's the thing.
I can't say a bad word about that. That's impressive,
man. You now want to go back and watch those episodes of Hollyoaks, don't you?
I want to watch Rise of Planet of the Apes again.
Who doesn't? So let's take a look at Infini then. I was looking forward to this one as well. Did you see this trailer when it was?
I don't know anything about.
Do you not know anything about this? No. So you watch the trailer and it is this space marine search and rescue, bit of a virus, kind of a tale, and there's a Hemsworth in it.
Not one of the good ones, though.
Lesser Hemsworth. It's the Poundland Hemsworth, admittedly. It's the supermarket brand Hemsworth.
It's for Daniel Baldwin.
It's Hemsworth. Morrison's own Hemsworth. Yeah. The Daniel Baldwin of Hemsworth, exactly. Yeah. So this is it's Luke Hemsworth. This is his actual name. So this is latest from up-and-coming director Shane Abess, Australian-made sci-fi film. The general gist is, by a set point in the future, most of humanity lives below the poverty line, and as a result, this new industry has emerged, where a new industry of sort of blue-collar workers has emerged, and they take the form of being transported through like a Star Trek style transporter to the furthest reaches of space on effectively blue-collar workers' jobs. And the idea is that the actual mechanism to transport them there can go spectacularly wrong, although this doesn't really happen in the film, so I'm not sure why we're told it. In the opening of the film, it is our central character's first day on the job, as it were. Daniel McPherson is his name. Carmichael. He has a first name, I forget it. But they just refer to him as Carmichael. On his first day on the job, a team beams in effectively to headquarters, afflicted by a virus that causes the facility to go into lockdown. And in order to escape, the only way he can escape is to beam himself back to where they've just come from. Cue the next installation, because this is the East Coast, and then the West Coast installation decides we need to go and investigate ourselves and find out what happened, because there's a guy stranded there. And also, it turns out that this happens to be a facility in the furthest reaches of space, named Infini, where they mine a certain mineral which, if it interacts with Earth's atmosphere, will explode and detonate the planet. But the auto shipping procedure has been enacted so that this mineral will actually be shipped to Earth in a matter of hours. So you have to beam there and you have to find Carmichael and stop the shipment, but there's a caveat. Because of time dilation theory, you're only actually going to be gone for about 2 minutes, but in reality that's 24 hours on the station. So basically it works out as 1 second here equals 6 minutes there, but and so on and so forth. But no sooner do they get to Infini, however, than there's a virus on the loose, and it's a rage virus, and they all start to... You see what I mean? This is like Jupiter Ascending. What?
What did you just say?
There was a rage virus on the station. They all turn on each other.
My eyes just went cross-eyed. I just kind of glazed over whilst we were talking.
Here's a clip.
Step forward, please. Sir, take your eye line to me.
What is your name?
Lieutenant Philippa Boxon. Look me dead in the eye, please, sir.
I'm going to ask you a series of questions. I'll repeat the questions.
Sir, I advise you to take your eyes to me. What is your name?
Claire Greenwich. Place your hand on the glass.
Do you know where you are?
Yeah, East Coast headquarters.
I need your full cooperation before I can clear you.
Chester
All questions must be answered.
What does P stand
What's
for?
your name, sir?
Peter.
Charlie Kent.
Captain Seat Johansson.
How are you feeling? Please focus and cooperate with me.
I'm a biomed.
Sir, you must tell me immediately.
Sir, are you hallucinating?
No.
You're quite jittery, sir.
Eris Menzies. My name is fine.
Infini, ladies and gentlemen. So you were boggled by the plot synopsis.
That sounds convoluted.
Do you know, strange... Actually, that's the funny part, because you almost wish it was convoluted. You wish it was played as convoluted. You wish it was Star Trek-style technobabble. But it's not. It's really... Do you remember when they made that movie of Miami Vice about 10 years ago?
Yeah.
And rather than do a buddy cop, gritty thing, they did like an almost documentary-style, matter-of-fact movie. That's the problem with this. It's too matter-of-fact. It's matter of fact. So if we release the chemical enzyme into the atmosphere, then blah blah blah, and proton fields, and what? Just someone throw a pie. Come on. And
it's my space pie.
Throw a space pie. Right, it's directed with a good sense of visual flair by Shayna Bess, and his influences are quite obvious in there. I mean, there's a bit of Alien, a bit of Event Horizon, even the Doom movie, the adaptation of Doom. There's even a little bit of Sunshine in there, Danny Boyle's Sunshine, particularly the final closing portions of Sunshine. It does try to go everywhere. It's impressively creepy. It's very atmospheric. I'll give it its dues. Unfortunately, it's not very coherent or cohesive. It doesn't quite... I mean, it starts off, it wants to be the Space Marine's tale, and then it goes and it wants to be this more cerebral slice of science fiction instead, with a twinge of horror. And it doesn't quite come together. Daniel McPherson's quite an interesting lead. Luke Hemsworth fares a lot better than you would assume a pound store Hemsworth would. There's a veritable who's who of Australian actors in here whom you will recognise purely from lower roles on TV shows. Like supporting roles on episodes of The Last Ship, for example, and things like that. There's no doubt for me, having seen the film, that Shayna Bess is someone to watch in future. He's got this SFV1 project coming out soon. But the film is kind of a bit ropey, to be honest. For lack of it is a very, very ropey film. And that's down to the story, down to the screenplay, and it shows because of how much of a handle he has on his tone and his style. And it's a bit of a crying shame, to be honest. So, I mean, aside from the bonkers insanity that is Infini, I mean, it's like describing a plot of Jupiter Ascending, admittedly, although far less fun. Come on, that's fun.
It is fun. Yeah.
But so we should take a moment, obviously, to plug our competitions.
Yes, certainly.
Veritable smorgasbord of goodies to be won by you, the delightful public, if you by just chance pop over to onscreenfilm.com and go in our competition section. At the moment, I believe you can win Maze Runner Scorch Trials goodie bags, which they look quite
That's
pretty cool stuff in there.
We've
got Avengers Age of Ultron DVDs going up there shortly as well.
That's just come out.
Yep, free to enter. Just pop on, try your luck, win some swag. I mean, film news in the meanwhile, we should have a look at some other bits. Have you heard about The Revenger?
Yes, I have. So this is Liam Neeson and the guy that did Zombieland.
Ruben Fleischer. Let's hope it's more Zombieland and a little less
Gangster Squad.
Yeah. An action comedy. No one knows the plot. It's being kept under wraps. An action comedy starring Liam Neeson from the director of Zombieland, entitled The Revenger. I kind of like that.
That's cool,
to be honest. We've got time for one more bit, I think.
What else have we got?
We should refer to the fact that Justin Timberlake is officially a troll. And I'm just going to leave that information there. No, I'm kidding. Justin Timberlake has signed up to join the voice cast of Trolls. You know the DreamWorks upcoming animated reboot of the toy line.
The little things that go on pencils.
With the big hair.
Yeah, you get like a cereal box.
Exactly.
Why?
Well, Justin Timberlake is going to be the male lead. Anna Kendrick will be the female lead. And it's
is
a
it a singing? Yeah, there we are. Of course,
it's a musical.
Of course
it's got
it is.
Anna Kendrick in it. Of course, it's a musical. Shall we scale the mountain then, Kase?
Let's scale Everest.
Scale Everest. Well, it's kind of funny though when you think about it that we waited so long for the Everest movie. Just how have we not had an Everest movie in decades?
Yeah, with all the new IMAX screens and all this. And
in fact, you would have assumed. In fact, I'm sure at some point in Everest, an offhand line in an offhand line from Jason Clarke, he does say, "Oh, the IMAX crew have gone up over there." Because this is set in 1996, so there was IMAX technology.
Yeah,
and I think he does refer to an IMAX film crew having gone up the mountain.
So it's quite a knowing
little nod, isn't it?
Yeah.
So of course this is semi-drama, semi-disaster movie from director Baltasar Kormasar, who brought us Contraband.
Yeah,
a
with
couple of
Marky
years
Mark.
ago.
Yeah,
with Marky Mark. Sounds funky bunch.
Two guns. Two guns.
And Two Guns. I prefer Two Guns to
Me too.
To Contraband.
Denzel.
Yeah, a bit of Denzel and Wahlberg again. Who knew? So this time he's bringing us the part drama, part disaster movie story of two teams of commercial sort of explorers, as it were. It's a sign up. We'll help you climb. We'll take you to the top of Everest.
Yeah,
it's
not like professional.
Yeah, sort of vacationing climbers thing. And of course, the two teams get stranded on Everest during a severe storm front, and death faces us all, it seems, including our would-be climbers, who, of course, are forced to face their own mortality on the side of probably the most famous mountain in the world. Here's a clip.
Those of you who dare face their dreams, Venture Consultants offers something beyond the power of words to describe. And why don't we describe it in the brochure? Because it's mostly just pain.
Yes. Ain't that the truth?
Put it simply, guys, human beings simply aren't built to function at the cruising altitude of a 747. Okay, once we get above here, above the South Col, our bodies will be literally dying, and I mean literally dying. It's not called the death zone for nothing, guys. So the game is, can we get you up to the top and down to the bottom before that happens?
I apologise for my stomach having gone off quite loudly during that. Right. So this is a strange thing with Everest. It has elements of the sort of quintessential 70s disaster movie in there. And yet that is sort of those elements are overridden by this 90s disaster movie sensibility. By the time you got to the 90s, it became all about let's have the big name all-star cast in small cameos. And you look at something like Armageddon, for example. Yeah. And not so much big names at the time, but these are the future big names. Kind of. Let's get Affleck in there, Owen Wilson,
yeah, exactly.
Michael, get them all in, and we're good.
Yeah.
And this is that sort of an affair, and it really feels that it owes more of a debt to those things than it owes the 70s disaster movie, even though there are moments when you're reminded of that. In the middle of it all as well, you have this character drama, which you want the character drama to add up to something, but ultimately it doesn't. What you get is a 2-hour film. It's 2 hours, 1 minute long. And an hour and 15 of it is set up. And you can't help but wonder, what setup do you need? It's a freaking mountain. Get on it.
Yeah. Climb up it.
This ain't Batman Begins. You don't need to be schooled by Liam Neeson and ninjas. Get on the damn mountain.
Liam Neeson plays the mountain.
Liam Neeson plays the mountain.
Everest talks.
The wisest mountain that ever lived. Cast-wise, all pretty good, although they don't really all get an awful lot to do. It's worth noting that the male cast fare an awful lot better than the female cast. Jason Clarke does Jason Clarke thing he always does. He's quite reliable at it.
Well, I like that he's becoming this kind of likeable new leading man.
He is. I mean, the success of Jason Clarke seems to be, you know what, we need someone who can hold your interest on the movie screen, but that you would take seriously as an actual professional in the job he's supposed to be playing.
Yeah.
And very much so, you actually believe, yes, you know what, convincing climbing instructor.
He was great in Dawn. Yeah.
Same kind of thing, isn't it?
Definitely.
And you then got what I can only describe as a very granola Jake Gyllenhaal, if you know what I mean. Jake Gyllenhaal granola edition.
Yeah,
is the best way I can describe
him. He's there
him.
for like a skiing holiday.
It feels like Jake Gyllenhaal just wanted a skiing holiday. And you've then got, of course, the token, arrogant yet semi-charming snob, Josh Brolin, because that's all Josh Brolin ever plays. This is the problem. I mean, Josh Brolin would have been the lead in this film if you'd made it in 2005, for example. You can pretty much guarantee that. But the women in the film are terribly underserved. Keira Knightley is relegated entirely to her mattress. That is her entire role in the film. She does not seem to move from her mattress.
I've seen her trailers, just Cole and
that pretty much
Jason Clarke. Yeah.
Emily Watson, sorry. Emily Watson, not Emma Watson. Very different film if it was Emma Watson. Emily Watson is effectively her on the microphone. Yeah, and then you've got Robin Wright Penn, who plays her indoors. So it's very much a case of her in the bed, her on the mic, her indoors. And you literally could write the female characters this way. Robin Wright Penn gets naff all to do until about 10 minutes before before the very premature end of the film, because this film doesn't so much end, so much as slam to credits. And really leaves you with not much sort of come down from it. It takes too long to get to the point. Once it does, it becomes hard to tell what's going on because of the enacted weather front, disguising everyone. Everyone looks the same. They've all got the same snow gear, they've all got the big bushy beards, etc. It's a bit... It's thrilling to watch visually. I mean, Baltar Commissar has done a very good job visually with it. It's very striking to watch. However, I didn't find it very interesting. And that's kind of a problem for me, because I want to care about the people on the mountain, and yet I just don't.
With the latest film news and reviews, this is OffScreen.
And we're back. So, shall we deal with Robert Sheehan's Messenger?
Yes, let's do that.
Okay, so The Messenger, which is a British supernatural drama thriller with twinges of a horror element to it.
Okay.
This basically put, there's a sort of sixth sense element, not sixth element, that's fifth element. Sixth sense element.
With the sequel.
That's the sixth element. There's a sixth sense element to this in that Robert Sheehan sees dead people, effectively, and is perceived by the world around him to just be a nutter. He's a sort of dishevelled loner type, always looks like he needs a shower, and he's always talking to himself. So, what would you think, kind of a thing. One day he encounters a spirit of a recently murdered journalist and decides to, as he does with all of the ghosts who communicate with him, help him make peace, say goodbye to his old life, etc. And in this case, there's an element of who murdered him. Can Robert Sheehan help? I forget the name. Edward Fox? Robert Fox, the younger one.
Yeah.
Robert Fox, I think
yeah.
it is. Help him find peace and find his would-be murderer. It's directed by David Blair, he's not exactly a newcomer, he's been around a while. We have a clip.
He has a habit of getting involved in things he shouldn't. Death, funerals.
Dad says you're not well. Says you lie about seeing dead people.
You're sick. What am I going to say to her?
Your message, your words.
You could always say no.
They never give up!
Why are you doing this to me?
I've got a message.
Why do you think that you were chosen?
I'm just the messenger.
So The Messenger there. This is, to be fair to Robert Sheehan, okay, this is something of an intense and sort of stirring performance from I don't know him. I don't know his work. I don't know
he's a kid from Misfits.
He is the kid from Misfits.
That's kind of a main thing I know him from.
Well, he has turned up in a few films over the last couple of years.
Oh, what was that? He was in Killing Bono.
That was
Ben
the
Barnes,
one.
But I just hated.
Well, this is the thing, because Sheehan's performance is something of a beacon through this film. It's the through line through this film, because there's not much else going for it. David Blair's style here seems to be very televisual. There's something very Channel 4 about it. The supporting cast, you've got David O'Hara in there, and it's Jack Fox, I'm thinking of. Jack Fox, who's in a play, I believe, at the moment. That's advertising's plastered all over London. And... you know what? They put in some glossily enjoyable performances, but they're really sort of underutilised. They're very small roles. Then you've got Lily Cole. And, Lily Cole, the model, who apparently has given up modelling and is now focusing on her acting.
She's a model/actress.
Model/actress, doing some acting in the Team America sense. And she sinks this film like a boulder on a life raft. Is the only thing I can compare it to.
Stick to modelling.
She cannot deliver a basic line of dialogue without visibly struggling. And I mean visibly struggling. You can see the cogs turning in this poor girl. And it's otherwise it's perfectly engaging. It's fine. It's the old ghost's been murdered. Let's help him solve it.
It seems like a decent enough story. It's been done before, like you said.
That's the thing. It's not exactly. There's a half a dozen supernatural episodes.
I would say all the TV shows was Pushing Daisies, Dead Like Me, similar kind of.
Hang on, isn't this the exact plot of The Ghost Whisperer? This
is
literally...
yes.
That's the one where they couldn't figure out why ghosts kept coming and showing up at Jennifer Love Hewitt's house. And you watch it and think, I have a vague idea why they might. The problem is the story has some momentum to it. And between the sort of ghostly aspects and Robert Sheehan's performance, there's enough to keep it sort of chugging along. It chugs along merrily enough. But the script just doesn't really engage you. And it leans far too much on Lily Cole, who's frankly too dead-eyed and uninteresting to really do much with it. It's very televisual in its direction, it's quite unfocused. It does even itself out in that regard slightly as the story goes on. It gets a faint whiff of confidence in the later stages, and Sheehan's accent does grow on you. It's pretty awful to begin with, a bit Coronation Street.
Oh, really?
But it does get better. And it does eventually unfurl into something sort of half decent. But the problem is you have one foot out the door by the time you get to that stage. And it did not make me a Robert Sheehan fan, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Like I said, I've seen him in Killing Bono, which I didn't really like, and Misfits, which he was okay in, but yeah.
That's the thing, it's not that it's a message you won't want to hear, it's just that you won't care by the time it's been delivered. Have you heard the Darren Aronofsky news?
I don't know.
I think this is awesome.
Refresh my memory.
Darren Aronofsky has signed on to direct the Evel Knievel biopic starring Channing Tatum.
What?
Yeah, really.
No, I didn't hear that.
This is actually a thing. We're going to get the Evel Knievel movie starring Channing Tatum.
Actually, I heard that the film, but I didn't know that Channing was going to be it.
Oh yeah, because Channing Tatum's developed it with his. Because he's got this production. Reed Carolyn is his production partner. They've got a little production company together, and they've been developing his projects. I believe he's involved with Gambit as well.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, so we've got that to come as well. Oh, Woody Harrelson. We're going to talk about that.
Oh yeah, he's going to be a general.
He's going to
colonel or something like that.
I think he's the colonel.
I would love that to just be his name, the colonel.
But that's it. He's known only as the colonel. He's the villain of the new movie War for the Planet of the Apes. Yes. This is going to be awesome. I can't wait for this. I was already excited about a third Planet of the Apes reboot movie.
Yeah.
In the reboot series, sorry.
I love the first one. Second one,
second one, whole of the level. Yeah. And now we've got one with Woody Harrelson as the human villain. Yes. Like, that's awesome. Because Gary Oldman wasn't really a villain last time around.
No,
he wasn't a villain. He was the villain of the piece, but he's not.
He was a villain with good intentions.
That's it.
Well, his own intentions.
He was just He's one of those characters. I'm just protecting my own kind of a character. I'd like to see an actual villain in the form of Woody Harrelson. So we'll see what comes of that. You looking forward to that one then?
Big time.
Oh yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's that time then, Kase. Should we do the box office top 10?
I think that we should do it.
Number 10.
Latest film from Mr. Woody Allen is Irrational Man.
Have you seen this one yet?
I've still not seen it. No.
I quite enjoyed it. It's very quintessentially Woody Allen. I mean, why is it not going to be?
That's what you expect.
Well, Joaquin Phoenix, kind of chilling, vegging out a bit. It's a little bit more macabre than I'm used to from Woody Allen, but I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was a nice change of pace. It's not a fantastic film, but it's like an annual stage play at this point with Woody Allen.
Number 9.
Never has a film had a better title than Empire Strikes Back.
Because it keeps coming back, doesn't it?
It keeps coming back.
The Secret Cinema event, now in its 15th week, I believe. And it's still going, and... Can we really say anything more about Empire Strikes Back at this stage? It's a classic film. It's one of the all-time greats. What's not to love?
Number 8.
Moving down the top 10, Pierce Brosnan in No Escape.
Pierce Brosnan in No Escape. Not Owen Wilson in No Escape.
Oh, shut up.
Because, I mean, it's a bad film. I'll be honest, I die a little inside every time I fire up Twitter and I see more tweets reposted by Ent1 saying, oh my god, saw No Escape, totes best movie evs. And you're like, die. Just die, you people. And it's a zombie movie without zombies. It is xenophobic to a just dangerous degree. It is hysterically poor.
Number 7.
Moving down the top 10 again, Pixels.
Again, I mean,
what is left to say about Pixels?
It's family fun, pop in a quarter, sit back, enjoy the IMAX 3D ride. Adam Sandler's not that bad. That's really all you need to know.
Yeah.
Number 6.
Now, where's Hunt?
He is the manifestation of destiny, don't you know, Kase?
Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation.
Do you know what? I can't wait for this on home release because there should be.
It's going to be great.
I hope the Blu-ray comes with an option. You can just watch the Alec Baldwin scenes. Enter Baldwining mode. I loved it. I think Tom Cruise reminds us yet again why he is the Hollywood star that he is, and he is one of the sort of last remaining genuine action stars, really. Rebecca Ferguson makes a sizable impression. Alec Baldwin's amazing. The ensemble works.
Yeah, Sam Pegg is great. Yeah.
It's a pretty good action sequel.
Number 5.
This has moved down to number 5. Is Inside Out.
And so you're quite a big fan of. You've seen it 3 times?
I've seen it 3 times now. It's not even out on home release. So I'll buy it on Blue and I'll watch it a 4th and 5th time.
I think at this stage, for the sake of your financial balance, you probably should buy it on Blue. I really enjoyed it. It's one of those. It's a well-written, perfect family film from Pixar. Yeah. It's kind of what you expect now with the brand. It's very much a part of the Pixar brand with the requisite cast, the tender, warm, loving moments, enjoyable 3D and visuals.
The emotional gut punch.
The emotional gut punch, exactly.
Number 4.
I have finally seen it. Straight out of Compton.
So you've finally seen it. So I'm not going to talk about that. I'm just going to let you do it. What did you think?
Okay, so you have said about the parts of Dre's life that has been
visibly glossed over.
Yeah, so I do agree with that. I love the dynamic with Eazy-E and Jerry Heller and Ice Cube. I love that Ice Cube's son plays Cube perfectly. I was a big fan.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Number 3.
A new entry, The Visit.
The Visit. Well, I didn't like it.
I know you didn't.
It's a visit from which you cannot wait to leave. You can't wait to return home. Let's see, it feels like a Blumhouse film. It only feels like a Shyamalan film when it gets to the very, very end and there is this unnecessarily bolted on sentimental thing. The grandparents are great, the kids are awful.
He's a rapper, isn't he?
Ed Oxenbould plays a rapping 8-year-old, and good God, is he irritating. Some of the moments in it, there's a sequence under the grandparents' house, there's like a chase sequence through like a maze of the foundation of the house. Absolutely brilliant. Unfortunately, it's just one good thing in a film which contains literally nothing else.
Number 2.
Maze Runner: The Scorch Trials.
Which I can't tell it apart from the likes of the Hunger Games movies.
No, you always say like the Hunger Games, Divergent, yeah.
Yeah, the Hunger Maze Divergent runners. It feels like that now because it's always...
City of Bones.
City of Bones, yeah. Mortal Instruments of Bones. Yeah. The Beautiful Creatures of Bones. Something like that. And that's the problem because it's always abandoned silo bases, empty warehouses.
Dystopian future.
Factions. This one, not terribly. This one just seems to go on and on. It's directionless. It's characters wandering from one point to another. No semblance of what's actually going on at any time. And then just some exposition. And frankly, no, I'm bored of this. We have about 9 of these going at the same time now.
Number 1.
And straight to number 1, Legend.
Did you get to see Legend?
No, I've still not seen it.
Still not seen this one.
Two Tom Hardys.
2 Tom Hardys for your money. Yeah. And do you know what? He's having a lot of fun in it, as you'd expect. Yeah. Brian Helgeland's direction is suitably suave in it. Emily Browning is very enjoyable on screen, less enjoyable off screen when she's providing the voiceover, which is awful. And then you've got a film which wants to be a Scorsese movie, but its sensibilities are slightly too cartoonish to actually pull it off. And it's a shame because the film on the whole is quite enjoyable. So some more film news to tide us over then. We probably should talk about Elizabeth Banks then.
Let's do it. So what's she got lined up?
Well, Sony have entered negotiations with said Ms. Banks to produce, co-produce with her husband. They have a production company, I don't know if you know that. To produce and direct a big screen reboot of Charlie's Angels.
That's amazing.
That is, it's kind of good casting. I mean, in a day and age in which there was a serious lack of female franchises, especially those with female directors behind them. You look at like both the comic book companies at the moment will have one film each on the docket, which is kind of depressing.
And even then, we don't know if Captain Marvel's going to be directed by a female director. We don't know.
Exactly, we don't have the faintest clue. So the big question is, who's going to be one of Charlie's Angels in 2015, 2016?
Who would you cast?
Who would you get? I have no idea. Not a clue. Ronda Rousey.
Because that's just your answer for everything.
That's just my answer for everything. Who's going to be the shark in the Jaws remake? Ronda Rousey. So yeah, we've got that to look forward to. We'll see what comes of that. In the meanwhile, as well, so we've got Mary Poppins. That's getting a sequel.
Yeah, that.
Do you think that'll have a female director? No, it won't. It'll have Rob Marshall.
Oh yeah.
Disney want to do a live-action Mary Poppins sequel from Rob Marshall, who brought us, of course, Into the Woods.
Into the Woods is a great musical, not a great film.
Actually, do you know what? I'll give you that. That's very true. Meanwhile, Case, do you want the D?
You've been waiting all week, so haven't you?
I've been waiting all week to see if you want the D, Case. Do you want the D? Jack Black wants the D. James Marsden wants the D.
Everyone wants the D.
Everyone wants the D.
Let's hop aboard the D train.
The D train. Okay, it's the D train, which is an interesting sort of, I would say, small town dramedy. Would you call it?
Yeah, I do like the setup of it.
So, basic gist, you've got a small-town beta male, for lack of a better term, with low self-esteem, played by Jack Black. He has a sort of unfulfilling day job. He spends his evenings working for the alumni committee of his former high school, trying to organise the school reunion, which nobody's interested in. When he discovers that the most popular kid in school is now a bit part actor who starred in is it a suntan commercial?
Suntan commercial. It's Banana something.
Something like that. Yeah. And he's played by James Marsden in his older years. He decides that he is going to basically zhuzh up the reunion, get everyone excited about going by bringing the popular kid home. Only thing is, the popular kid is not quite the successful actor that Jack Black thinks he is, and the two form a sort of weird friendship that may or may not lead to disappointment for one or both of them. Here's a clip.
D-Fresh has an idea.
Who's D-Fresh?
It's me, Jerry Focus. I have an idea. It's going to take this thing to the next level and get every single person from our class to RSVP. Yes.
How?
Tash, bring up the reunion Facebook page for me, please. Everyone gather round.
Gather round?
Come on, chop, chop.
Why? Why would we do that?
Press play for me, Tosh.
The ocean
And full screen for me, Tosh.
both beautiful.
Was that Oliver
Now,
Lawless?
the ocean, I can keep
Yes.
that safe.
It's Oliver
Pretty
Lawless. It's a big Hollywood actor now. We get Lawless to come, the whole class will follow.
So Jack Black, James Marsden, Catherine Hahn, Jeffrey Tambor. You've got a hell
It's
of
a good
cast.
cast, yeah.
It's a really good cast in there.
I like Jeff Tambor, big time.
So Jared Paul and Andrew Mogul are the writer-directors on this one. I actually know Jared Paul as a comedic actor. He's in one of my favourite TV shows.
Which is?
A series called Action, starring Jay Moore. If you've never seen it, it was
Jay
Entourage
Moore's
before
great,
there was Entourage.
Right.
If you know what I mean, do watch it. It was terrific. Really biting. So it was meant to be a satirical take on Joel Silver.
Really?
It really is. It's meant to be. That's what the central character is meant to be. Anyway, so what did you think of this one, Case?
I did enjoy it.
You did enjoy it. Did you enjoy it as much as Bernie? That's one
No,
question. Did
not
you
at
not?
all.
I didn't enjoy it as much as Bernie, and that was the last time.
Really enjoyed Bernard. Yeah, I was seeing some kind of
Was that
similarities.
Linked Later?
That was Linklater.
It was Linklater.
Yeah.
That was the last time we got to see Jack Black do this sort of, outside of his wheelhouse, kind of show his
Downplayed.
range a bit more.
Yeah.
Add substance to his general madcappery. If you know what I mean.
This is a film where he doesn't sing.
He doesn't sing, no.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really do the shouty, screechy thing.
Or the dance kind of thing.
None of that.
He
He is playing it relatively straight, no pun intended. And this is the thing. So Marsden, you've got Marsden as well, who's a very difficult actor to sort of pin down. I don't know who or what James Marsden really is. He a C-lister? Is he a jobbing C-lister? Is he?
I don't know. I'd say he's B-lister.
Is he a B-lister?
He's Cyclops, man.
I don't know.
Even if Cyclops doesn't get a good movie version, at least he's At least he's in the franchise.
This is very true. And I thought James Marsden was very, very good in it. Catherine Hahn I enjoyed quite a lot as well. She's got a lot more to do here than she did in The Visit, for example.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you've got this great supporting cast of sort of known commodities to a certain class of comedy fan, which are the likes of Jim Gaffigan, Jeffrey Tambor, Mike White, who of course was Ned Schneebly in School of Rock.
Yeah. He wrote that as well. He wrote School of Rock.
Yeah, exactly. So Mike White again, same kind of thing. There is a bit of a problem that runs throughout the film, which is namely that it can't seem to commit to a specific tone. It can't seem to decide whether it wants to be this John Waters-esque sort of small town hell kind of a tale. Is it about self-esteem? Is it about feeling like you have purpose? Is it about male friendship? It can't seem to decide where its focus really lies.
I don't know. I think it kind of balances the line between the two. Really.
Did you find it settled a lot easier for you?
For me, it did. Yeah, definitely.
That's fair enough. That's why there's two of us and not just me.
So we can have differing opinions.
That's why I'm not sat in a broom cupboard doing this on my own. I mean, for me, I think that distorted identity, that lack of focus, I found that prove troublesome. I did think as well that James Marsden and Jack Black seem to have completely different levels of characterization. For instance, Jack Black's character seems to be a lot more developed than James Marsden, who seems to be more archetypical.
Because Jack Black's character is the titular D train.
He is the titular D.
Yeah, which is sentence and then what I would say. But he obviously gets a lot more to do. It is Jack Black's film.
Very much. I mean, I do think. I think on the whole, it's an engaging, it's a likable, charming, quirky enough film, and you will laugh and you will be engaged, and it'll hold your interest. And to play on its title, it's not a journey you'll want to hop off, but it is a bumpy ride. I would say that about it. It's not flawless, but it's not awful by a stretch of imagination, and there's enough in there to enjoy. I think. Would you agree?
I would definitely agree.
There is a film coming out that's actually being developed now, and I'm actually intrigued by this. It's a true story being adapted for the screen, and it's the true story of Betty and Barney Hill. Are you aware of the story?
I am not.
And I know of this through things like The X-Files, and basically 90s television played on this quite a lot. Betty and Barney Hill were a couple who reported one of the first alien abduction stories ever, one of the world's first ever. It's being produced by the team behind the Maze Runner series. Amazingly enough, it's going to be a
nice
film.
segue.
It is. It's going to be called Captured, and one of the producers on this is where it gets really funny for me. One of the producers on it is a man named Bryce Zabel, who was also a producer on Lois and Clark in the 90s. And but for me, this is where it gets really interesting. He produced a series called Dark Skies. Did you ever see this?
Oh yeah, Spielberg.
Yeah. No, I don't think it was
that?
Spielberg. No, this starred J.T. Walsh, and the idea was it took place in the 60s, and all historical events were actually fronts for an alien invasion and a government agency trying to stop it. One of the episodes, I think it might have been the pilot, featured recreations of The Hills, Betty and Barney Hill, in the very pilot episode.
That is interesting.
So obviously,
it's kind of like a full circle.
Bryce Zabel must have an interest in the story. So we've got that to look forward to. One final piece: Adrian Brody has signed on for a ticking clock thriller. I love that term.
Is that the title as well?
No, sadly not.
That is a shame.
It's going to be called Expiration. It's going to be directed by Nick Cassavetes and written by Brian Tucker. He is a former CIA agent who survives an assassination attempt only to find he has been poisoned and has 24 hours to live.
You've got an Oscar, man. What are you doing?
No. You were Houdini, man. Yeah. You were the damn pianist. You're better than this. Although Cassavetes, you need one of these men. You need it. No one's forgiven him for any of the crap he's done recently. Which was the Nick Sparks one he did?
They all merge into one. Did he do the Longest Ride? Was that him?
The Longest Ride? I thought it was the Best of Me. I honestly
with James Marsden.
Yes, quite possibly could be. Oh god. Final film this week then, Case.
Let's do it.
Shall we walk on the wild side or walk in the woods?
Let's walk in the woods.
So, based on the bestseller by Bill Bryson, this is a comedy about Bill Bryson himself, based on a true story, obviously. Bryson here is played by Robert Redford. So I'm going to confess that I did not know Bill Bryson that well before the film started, and I didn't realise he was American.
Yes,
I did not know this.
Very famous writer.
Yes, I'm not terrible.
Traveller.
Again, I now know that having seen the film, in which he is played, of course, by Robert Redford, and having attended yet another old friend's funeral with his wife, Emma Thompson, Bryson decides he's going to go and walk the Appalachian Trail, because that's what you do. that's the grieving process. In order to, I think he wants to find purpose and prove that he's still got it.
So that makes sense.
That old thing. Prove that he's still got his joie de vivre. He's still got his verve. And of course, because of the danger of walking this incredibly long trail, which apparently takes something like 5 months if you attempt it, he decides he needs a travel companion and calls up every old friend he has to get only one reply.
Who is it?
It is Nick Nolte, it seems, which I'm guessing is the only circumstance under which you would choose Nick Nolte as a travel companion.
That's like the last person.
It really is. However, it is ripe for comedy. And as the pair set off along the Appalachian Trail, they decide to dissect their relationship, where it went wrong, what's gone wrong in their lives since, how they feel about their lives, their purpose, their destinies, as it were. Here's a clip.
Hey, Cats, you awake?
No.
What was that?
How the hell should I know?
It sounded big.
Everything sounds big in the woods, Bryson. It's probably just a skunk. Go to bed.
Did you pack a knife?
No.
Nothing sharp?
Nail clippers.
Oh, swell.
Just leave it alone, Bryson. It'll go away.
Oh, yeah? Well, if it is a bear and it comes towards you, what are you going to do? Give it a pedicure?
So, as I said to you before we started, one of the funniest things about A Walk in the Woods is the idea that a black bear is somehow less feral looking now than Nick Nolte.
He's got a lot of face going on.
There is a lot of face to Nick Nolte. There really is. It's funny to me. This is released the same week as Everest as well, because you've gone from 2 teams of men on a mountain to 2 men in the woods.
2 men in the woods.
And yet 2 men in the woods is infinitely more entertaining than 2 teams of men on a mountain. So yeah. It's brilliant. It's a lot of fun. It's very funny. It's very charming. It's very likeable. I mean, you presumably know the work of Bryson a lot better than I do.
I know it quite well. Yeah.
Okay.
My parents are fans.
Oh, your parents are fans?
Kind of where I get it trickled down, I guess.
Oh, my parents are just fans of Ridley Scott historical epics. So, you know.
Oh, right, yeah.
My mum recently told me The Best of Me was a terrific movie.
The Best of
Me. She told me The Best of Me was a terrific movie. Yeah.
It's not.
It's not, Mom. It really isn't. I then told her she should watch The Longest Ride. It's a lot better. But, yeah. So this is a really terrific comedy for, to use the quote, men of a certain age, which seems to be the term now. It works for those people who found the bucket list a bit too Hollywood. if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
Bucket List is a little bit concepty, a bit gimmicky. This is a lot more straight-faced, a lot more, hey, let's just walk in the woods. We've got two great actors, two great characters.
What it says on the tin.
Exactly.
Walking woods.
And it's got this emphasis on heartfelt comedic banter and sort of character development. It's a joy to watch it unfold.
I would imagine it was such a great kind of chemistry.
There is a great chemistry, and it does play off. They play off of each other so well. I did read an interview with Redford where he had said this is something he would have loved to have done with Paul Newman, and you can see it.
Man.
You can imagine that film.
A couple of days ago, I rewatched Butch Cassidy.
Yeah,
that film's so good.
Who doesn't love Butch Cassidy?
It's incredible.
But it's an interesting film. It's very considered. It's very well thought out. It is laugh out loud funny, and within seconds of it starting, you will be laughing. Redford does that. I'm straight faced, but I'm a good guy. I'm still funny though, sort of role. And then you've got Nick Nolte who. I'm the screw up. Sort of a role.
That was on point.
I'm the screw up. Although I did find myself watching it thinking, Jesus, was this guy ever young? Because I can't remember what a young Nick Nolte ever looked like now.
The earliest I can think about is Cape Fear. And even then...
48 Hours for me, and I still can't remember him looking young.
He looks like mid-40s.
He does, doesn't he? It's a trip genuinely worth taking. At 104 minutes, it breezes by. It feels like a good 90-minuter. In fact, it does get to a point where you are checking your watch thinking, oh man, this is going to end in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I want to see more of these guys.
Yeah, it ends at a point where you think, I wish this went on, the story continued a bit further. You will laugh, you will get a little misty-eyed in places. It is very funny, it is very thought, but it's got a great supporting cast. Mary Steenburgen, Emma Thompson, Nick Offerman turns up in it.
Oh, really? I didn't know
Nick
that.
Nick Offerman turns up in it.
I knew that Mary Steenburgen was in it.
If I told you Nick Offerman was the man who worked at the camping store, could you imagine this scene playing out?
I imagine that if he wasn't like a famous actor, that would just be his job. Anyway.
I think that is very much the case. I'd say it feels about 20 minutes shorter than it actually is. It has the best on-screen chemistry, some of the best on-screen chemistry you've seen this year so far. And I say it just got perfectly rounded characters. Rick Kerr and Bill Haldeman, brilliant screenplay for this. They've played to the strength of the story, to the strength of the characters and the cast they have. And it's a brilliant exploration of elder male bonding. I really loved it.
You loved it?
Definitely.
I think we know what the film of the week is going to be then.
Well, I'm going to have to give it to Walk in the Woods. I really loved Walk in the Woods. Walk in the Woods was so good, I can't wait to see it again. That's how good it was.
I think I might see it tonight. I don't have any plans. My plans have now fallen through, so I will be watching that, I think. You've convinced me, sir.
Well, your plans were with me.
Come with me.
So
we'll see it again.
Through? Have they fallen through? Never mind. Right, so next week we've got McFarland or McFarland USA, depending on where you get the title from. We've got that to look forward to, which is, wouldn't you know it, a Kevin Costner sports drama.
He does quite a lot, doesn't he?
He does those, doesn't he? We've got Miss You Already with Drew Barrymore and Toni Collette.
That seems to have come out of
that really has. Female-driven sort of dramedy come out of nowhere. Yeah. We've got Captive with David Oyelowo. And we've got Life with Dane DeHaan and Robert Pattinson. This could be quite interesting.
This is for James Dean.
This is the James Dean. James Dean one to look forward to. Mia Madre, which I don't know an awful lot about. But one I am quite looking forward to, Solace. We have that to look forward to. Yeah. This is the Anthony Hopkins is a psychic catching a serial killer played by Colin Farrell thriller. What could go wrong with that? Sounds amazing.
We shall see. I've seen the trailer. I wasn't wholly on board.
You know what? Is this going to be Fracture or is it going to be The Right? That's what I'm wondering. Those are when it comes to your cheap and cheerful Anthony Hopkins thrillers, those are your benchmarks. Fracture's the good end.
What was it, Chris Rock? Was it Bad Company?
Bad Company. Get in the car, bitch. So we've got all those to come and more next week off screen. This has been a Candystore production for OnScreen. I've been Van Connor.
My name is Kase Allen. We'll be back next week.
Just show me the way to get out of here and I'll be on my way.
You've been listening to OffScreen. For more news and reviews, visit onscreenfilm.com.
Okay, cut. That's a wrap.
Get in the car, bitch.